There's a reason I always say people don't believe what they hear. They believe what they see. And I'm going to prove it to you in this podcast. Stay tuned. I'm Cristy Code Red, and you're listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle, where we believe food holds the power to heal or poison, and we believe our society has been misled regarding proper nutrition and weight loss. You're in the right place if you're looking for some straight up truth, because I'm here to shed light on the lies and brainwashing that has taken place over the past 5 decades. Thanks so much for listening. Welcome back to another episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. I'm your host, Cristy Code Red, author, entrepreneur, retired professional boxer. Hello. And today we are talking about the fruit. And you shall know them by their fruit. Now, you guys know I'm always making Bible references in all of my podcasts. You don't need to be a believer. You don't need to be a certain religion or anything like that. I don't talk about religion. I don't talk about churches. I don't talk about things like that. I talk about relationship. And I talk about being a believer. And the Bible has so many references to fruit in various forms. But the one that I'm talking about today is you shall know them by their fruit. So let's back up. Let's break down. What am I even talking about? Well, the fruit of something is what something produces. So the fruit doesn't just pop up on its own. It is produced from fruit in general. If you just think about fruit, it's produced by something, some sort of tree or plant, and it grows on a tree or a plant or a vine, something. It doesn't just pop out of the ground by itself. A banana doesn't just stick up out of the ground. It has to be grown on something. There's a stem. There are usually leaves. It's actually a structured type of a plant or a tree or a vine or some sort of a structure like that. And so the fruit is what is produced on that tree or bush or vine. It is what is produced. It's what comes of something. And in the Code Red lifestyle, you'll notice, and this is not just Code Red, but across the board in everything, every part of our lives, people don't believe what they hear. They believe what they see for the most part. That's why I have been posting a before and after picture every single day for the past 8 years without skipping one single day. There are literally thousands upon thousands upon thousands of before and after pictures that I have produced and I have posted, and stories to go along with that all over social media. I have never not posted one. And that's how people decide whether something's going to work or not. They have to see the proof. They have to see what is going to be produced from that program. They have to see if it has worked. And the only way they're not doing it because they heard about it. They might have heard about it, but they first noticed it on somebody. You know, your mailman said something to you when you intercepted each other at the mailbox because your mailman has noticed you losing weight over the past couple of months. Your mailman says, wow, you look like you've lost weight. What's going on? Oh, I'm doing Code Red. It's real food, water, and sleep. No shakes, pills, diet foods, or exercise. Really? How could you lose so much weight so quick based around real food, water, and sleep? Because it's the proper human diet. That's what we do. I've lost 10% of my body weight each month since I've started. So your mailman's going to notice something first. Your pastor's wife is going to notice something first. Your sister-in-law is going to notice something first. That is the fruit. They're noticing your fruit, the fruit of the work. And that's why the podcast is called They Will Know You by Your Fruit. People don't usually, they might listen. Like if you're sitting in the back of an Uber and the Uber driver tells you, yeah, I'd really like to lose weight. just been struggling with my weight for the past 4 years, and I keep putting on weight, and I can't seem to lose any weight. I'm busting my butt at the gym, 3 days a week. I haven't skipped one single workout, and it's just so frustrating. I haven't seen any results. And then you're seeing in the back of the Uber, and you say, "Well, I've lost 62 pounds on a program called Code Red." Oh, really? No kidding? Yeah, it's Code Red. It's based around real food, water, and sleep, and I've been able to lose that weight in about 4.5 months. Wow, that's a lot of weight. Yeah. And so the Uber driver is just going to be like, "Wow, that's cool. I'm impressed by that." But if you reach forward with your phone and you actually have a before and after picture of yourself, and you turn it around and show them what you looked at like before and show them what you look like now, or at least just show them what you looked like before and they look in the rearview mirror and see what you look like now, that is going to be like 10, 15, 20 times more of a wow fig. That's going to be, it's going to go 0 to 100 really quick, because people don't believe what they hear, they believe what they see. If you show them, "This is what I looked like at the beginning of the year, and it's April now, and this is what I look like now." Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Lori Stobart. Look, I just screwed up her name. Lori Stobart. It's not the easiest name in the world to pronounce, Lori. Lori Stobart lost 205 pounds in 18 months on Code Red. She's our 2023 Rebel of the Year. She is a mentor now with us. She's actually, she's very tall. So I think her goal weight is 155. I think she's sitting right around 151, 152 right now. So she's well within that 2 to 5 pound buffer that we like people in maintenance to have. You would not believe if you see her before picture. You cannot believe that that's her. She's also, by the way, the event director for our Code Red retreats coming up in September. And I say retreats as in plural because we have 2 of them. And I'm just going to do a quick plug for the Code Red retreat. September 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. I think that's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then a second retreat to choose from, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. That's a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You have 2 retreats to choose from. Every single retreat guest gets their own bedroom and their own bathroom. You don't have to share beds, and you don't have to share bathrooms. All right. And so that's really a really big deal for retreats. I personally, especially for the price point being under $2,000, it's all inclusive, 4 days, 3 nights, all inclusive, your food, and by the way, you're staying in the village at Tamarack in a brand new condo. They're gorgeous there. All right. All your ziplining adventure is included, morning walks with Cristy, all the coach retreats, because all the Code Red certified coaches will be there. And all the food being served is going to be easy to, we're going to switch to all single ingredient foods this year. So it'll be easy to measure, pre-plan, pre-measure, pre-log. We're going to have all the hydration stations set up, all your coffee, everything that you need is all going to be provided for you. A really great swag bag this year with brand new Code Red joggers and hoodies. So it's just amazing retreat. Games, prizes, so many great things. In September, 2 to choose from, 25 guests at each retreat. And they're already filling up fast, and we're 6 months out. So I would definitely suggest you pay half now to reserve your spot and half at the end of August. All right. So definitely get your retreat spot reserved, because last time we sold out 80% of the retreat in the first week when we released the announcement. So everybody loves Code Red retreats. I think this is our 8th and 9th one, 7th and 8th one. So Lori Stobart is our event director. I'm not going to be running the retreat. She's going to be running it. I will be there, but I won't be running it. She'll be much better at it than me. And everybody loves her because she's really earned a lot of respect in the industry. So when you see Lori's before and after, oh, by the way, coderedlifestyle.com/retreat. Okay. So when you see Lori's before and after picture, it's astonishing. It's astonishing. Also, you'll see on my Code Red documentary coming out April 12th that I featured Heather Meldrum. Heather Meldrum lost a lot of weight on Code Red, and you'll see that in the retreat. You'll see that in the documentary. She was one of my people that I use in the documentary to feature. And she's lost a lot of weight. When you see her before picture, It doesn't even come close to looking like her. Not even close. Not even close. So showing people the proof, it's what solidifies it in their mind. Showing them the fruit of Code Red. You're like, yeah, I've lost 135 pounds. Nobody believes it. I mean, they're not saying that you're a straight up liar. They're skeptical. They're skeptical unless they can see it. Unless they can see it. They don't, nobody would have believed that I had a weight problem back in the day. Nobody believes that. They'll know you by your fruit. They'll know you by your fruit. What is this program, Code Red, actually producing? What is the fruit of the program? A whole bunch of people who have taken their life back, who are no longer on loads of medication, who are no longer struggling with or no longer obese. They're no longer wearing a CPAP at night. We have people who have increased confidence level, decreased pain, decreased brain fog, increased intimacy with their partner, increased energy, uh, not depressed anymore. We have people that have completely changed their life. Totally, 100%. That's the fruit of Code Red. That's what the program has produced. And people don't believe you if you are not a product of your product. As a weight loss coach, I've got to keep my weight under control. There have been times I've talked to you about this where it has fluctuated. I have never fluctuated so bad that I really have no right to be here. And we're talking 10, 15 pound fluctuation. And what we tell our people in maintenance is, and really what we tell our people, and our mentors and coaches, especially, they don't, well, some people do this, is if you fluctuate, if you are 10% above your goal weight, you will be removed as a mentor. But we want everybody to stay within that 2 to 5 pound buffer of below their goal weight. But sometimes life happens, and sometimes bad decisions happen and bad choices happen, and you gain your weight. Well, you're going to be removed as a mentor if it gets 10% above. So if your goal weight is 125 pounds, you have you get above 12 pounds above, if you're 137 pounds, then you will be removed as a mentor. That's way above where we can, we can justify you being in a leadership position. You have to walk the talk. You have to be a product of your product, or ain't nobody going to buy your product. I do a presentation called How I Went from Food Stamps to 10 million in 3 years. And that's one of my top 3 rules that I give entrepreneurs. You've got to be a product of your product. People are not going to trust a fat weight loss coach. They aren't. Well, it ain't even working for you, Karen. Why should I buy your shake? Why should I get on your Advocare? Why should I get Nutrisystem food delivered to my door at $600 a month? If you're doing it, you're telling me I should do it, that I should sign up under you. If you're doing it and you're not staying thin, it's not going to work for me. We go to CrossFit. It's full of obese people. CrossFit is. Why would I want to start CrossFit? So, I mean, if I'm trying to lose weight. So you have to be a product of your product. They will know them by their fruit. What is this program or this product or whatever you've got that you're pushing? What is it producing? If I was always talking about Crosso Meats, they have this salve that they have. It's beef tallow and coconut oil, and it's a very thick salve. As I age, you guys, my skin is so dry. And so I put the salve on my skin morning and night. And it's, like I said, it's pretty thick, but I'm also pretty dry. So it works really great for me. If I was advertising this salve saying, look at how great my skin looks, look at how moisturized it looked, and I had just like rosacea and eczema and acne and my skin tone was uneven. I mean, they'll be like, gosh, I don't think she should be using that on her skin. Like, I think she needs some medication. Like, I think she needs a dermatologist, some prescription treatments here for her skin. That would not look good for the Crosso Meat salve. If I had terrible skin and you could tell I wasn't taking care of my skin, but I'm like, use this salve. It's great. Unless I could show that it was improving my skin, you have to have skin that people want before they buy the product that you're trying to push on them. And that's just how the industry works. That's just how our society works. People don't believe what they hear, they believe what they see. They will know you by your fruit. Now, I love this scripture. Get this. Looking at Matthew 7, verse 15. I'm going to start at okay, I'll start at verse 15. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. Verse 16. You will know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? No. Even so, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Verse 19, every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Verse 20, therefore, by their fruits, you will know them. People don't believe what they hear, they believe what they see. By their fruits, you will know them. I make a joke when I'm doing that presentation. You got to the one I mentioned that I do to entrepreneurs. My top 3 biggest keys to getting from food stamps to 10 million in revenue. And one of them is you got to be a product of your product. And there's a funny line that I say, and I say, if you are a life coach, but you're out at a bar and you're out, you're out, you're being stupid. You've got 3 different babies from 3 different baby daddies. You got a restraining order against you. You honestly think someone's going to come at you and come and hire you to help straighten their life out when you clearly have loads of problems of your own? If you're trying to sell online Bible courses and you're out at a bar twerking up on some dude drunk out of your mind, being stupid, half of your shirt's coming off, do you think they want to buy your online Bible courses? You have to be a product of your product. And I'm not just talking about sales, but that's going to be a really good indication. I'm single and I'm single and I'm looking. I'm single and I'm looking. I'm single and I don't know if I would say I'm looking. I guess I'm always keeping my eyes open because as the years go by, I'm just kind of like, you get more and more frustrated and you get more and more like, geez, I don't even, try to have faith, of course, and that God's going to bring the right guy to me that's going to be a good match for me. Because the last 4 relationships I've been in have not been a good match for me. I need a good match. And so I don't try to keep the faith, but more and more it's just kind of like, But what happens is I meet a lot of guys in the sauna. I know that sounds crazy, but here at the Grove Hotel, we have an awesome gym on the 5th floor called the Grove Fitness and Spa. And we have a sauna that's 233 degrees. It is the hottest sauna in Boise. It's so freaking hot. Most saunas run around 180 to 190. This is really, really hot. And I do this 5 nights a week. And I do it, I'll stay in there 30 minutes. And I've worked my way up to this. And it's so much of it. Well, I was going to say a lot of it's mental. No, you also need to be well hydrated. You also know you need to know what you're doing. I do not suggest any of you guys go sit in a 233-degree sauna if you don't know what you're doing. I meet a lot of guys in there and I always strike up conversations with people, girls and guys. I don't care who, I'll talk to anybody because it helps the time go by faster when you're visiting with somebody in there. And I was talking to a guy and he he was good looking. It was the right age range for me, and he was single and everything was going fine until he started cursing. And that's a good indication. And I'm not saying that people who curse don't love Jesus, but I want somebody who is Christ-centered, somebody who not just loves Jesus, but who does keep Christ first in his life, who does honor God and loves Christ first and then his wife. I want it to be, I'm not looking for a pastor or anything. I'm just looking for someone who who understands that when you curse, that is ugly And that's not bringing honor to Christ. And the next thing you're probably going to say is, Cristy, you're really judging someone for cursing when you probably make a ton of mistakes. No, believe me, listen, I'm not judging them. I'm not judging like what you think. I do make a ton of mistakes, and every single day, all the time, I'm always saying crap I shouldn't. I'm always, and so I'm trying to, like, and I know that, like, my sister Carrie, she lets out a curse word once in a while, and I know she loves Jesus. Like, I'm not saying I know that I'm running the risk bringing up this example, but if someone is just rattling off curse words in a sauna full of strangers, like it ain't nothing, with no respect to the company, but like, I kind of guess I was raised in a generation where men just don't talk that way in front of women. It's a form of disrespect. And really, I don't want a man to talk that way at all, but I especially want him to respect women enough to not talk that way in front of women. It's just like maybe part of chivalry or something. So the first thing that he does rattle off a bad word. I mean, and I don't like cursing. I think it's ugly. I don't like to hear it. I don't want to be around it. I don't like it. It hurts my ears. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like cursing. And I realize some people were raised that way, or some people don't think there's anything like wrong with it, and that's okay. To me, it's an immediate turnoff, because to me that is showing me their fruit. I maybe I'm being way too, and comment below. Tell me if I'm being off base here. Tell me if I'm being way too rigid, or I'm way too like, Cristy, you need to move with the times, or like, and I know that I'm not saying that God doesn't love them if they let out curse words. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it bothers me. It bothers me. And I don't think it's very Christ-like to curse. I also don't think it's Christ-like for women to run around, if they claim they're Christians and that they are trying to represent Christ and Jesus lives on the inside of them, to run around with their boobies hanging out. Run around with really short skirts that just, you just look like slutty, and that you just look like promiscuous. And that, I just think you should be a little more modest. You can be sexy and be modest. Sometimes that's more sexy. That's sexier when you're a little more modest. What kind of message are you putting out there? What kind of fruit are you displaying? Because that's how people are going to know you, by their fruit, by your fruit. To me, that bothers me. If somebody is a marriage counselor and their marriage is an absolute wreck, I, I don't know. Jordan Peterson, a world-renowned psychologist, love that guy, out of Canada. He talks a lot about marriage, and he's got a great marriage. It takes a lot of work to have a great marriage. I've had a couple of marriages. I can tell you, it takes a lot of work to have a great marriage. And he has a great marriage, and he works on it. There is another couple online that I know, and I've met them both in person. Andy and Jacqueline Elliott, out of I think they're in Scottsdale. And they have a big, big company. They both do. It's a big sales company, and they teach sales training, and they're excellent. They have intimacy every single day. And that's what they preach. And they say that that is what strengthens their marriage. Okay, I see them. The fruits, the fruit that they are producing is a very tight bond. It's a very good marriage. It appears to be a rock solid, balanced marriage of mutual respect and shared purpose and goals. And so they have sex every day. And so if somebody's giving you advice to have intimacy with your partner every day, and they themselves, you can see by their fruit that they have a strong marriage, might be something to that. Might be something to that. Any husbands listening to me right now, they're cheering right now. And a lot of women don't want to have intimacy, and I'm sidebarring here, because they don't feel good. They don't feel good about their bodies. They don't feel good about themselves. They don't feel good when they get naked with their husbands, and they just don't physically feel good. They don't feel, like they just let themselves go. Well, you need to get your act together, Karen. You need to get your act together. And husbands, if you put on some weight, you need to get your act together. If you can't see your private parts because your tummy has gotten too big, you need to get your act together. Your wife did not marry you like that. And ladies, your husband did not marry you like that. Get your act together, you guys. Start getting your bodies in shape and start getting your health in order so that you can have intimacy together. Okay, I'm sidebarred and I went on that thing. You will know them by their fruits. If somebody is giving you an advice about something or somebody is trying to help you with something, they better be good at it themselves. That's why you don't see me giving you a whole lot of advice about kids. I do not have children of my own. I did not birth children out of my birth canal. I didn't. I do have children. They're from donor eggs, but I did not actually have any. I did not raise any. So I'm careful at what I say about kids. I always defer to my coaches who have kids and my mentors who have kids. And I'll say, well, Coach Carrie Martin has two teenagers and she says, blah, 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 blah. Well, Coach Maya has grandkids, and when her grandkids come over to the house, blah, 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 blah. Well, Coach Nancy says blah, 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 blah. Well, Coach Lisa and her husband are empty nesters. She's got 5 grandkids. When her grandkids come over, well, her daughter, blah, blah, blah. Like I defer to my coaches who do walk the talk and who have given me advice in order to say, I'm what because why? Because you're not gonna, you're only gonna take my advice seriously, like only to a certain level. Because I do not have kids, Cristy. I mean, you're gonna dismiss a certain part of what I'm saying. Is it true? Yes. Whatever I'm saying about the kids, yes, is factually true. Yes, you should be doing it, but you don't like what? I don't have any fruit to show for this certain area of my coaching. So you're not gonna really believe me to a certain point. But you'll believe one of my coaches who has gone through it, who does have kids and grandkids and is giving you advice. Or my own mom. My own mom is great for this reason. I always defer to my mom. And a couple times in the past when I thought I had missed my period and I came to my mom and I'd said, "Mom, blah blah blah," and she said, honey, if it happens, it's gonna be fine. Blah 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 blah. And she's always been really good about encouraging me, and making sure that I know. And she just got a great balanced outlook on kids and grandkids. I really like her approach to parenting. She is just she's just so relaxed about it and she's confident and she's just like she has confidence in the couple times I did miss my period. I She had confidence in me and she was like, if it happens, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna go blah blah blah. You're gonna do this, this, and this, and you're gonna push through like you always do, Cristy, and it's gonna be great. And she is so calm when it comes to parenting and grandparents. And I remember when my little sister had Ellie, my little sister, I've been transparent about this with you guys, has a lot of problems with substance abuse. And she had Ellie and needed a lot of help from my parents and from my other sister and from me. And so we kind of my mom was my mom and dad were hugely instrumental in raising Ellie, my niece. And then my sister Carrie also raised Ellie, and then I helped do some things too. And so between the 4 of us, we got Ellie raised, and she's an amazing kid. She's 25 now, not much of a kid. She'll always be a kid. Whenever I text her or call her up, I'll say, "Hey, sweet baby girl." I call her sweet baby girl. I call her sissy. I call her sweetheart. She's just always going to be, our little sweet Ellie bean. And so my mom and dad were 45 when Ellie was born. And that's pretty young to have your first grandchild, I think. I mean, I'm 47. That would be just weird to have a grandchild for me. But anyway, my mom was working full time to put my dad through his master's, his second master's degree. And my dad was going to school full time. My mom was the sole breadwinner. She put him through school and she was raising a newborn baby. She had a newborn baby in her office. And I was amazed at what she could do. Like, she just has this attitude about kids and grandkids. Like, it can be done. I'm going to do it. Let's just, So I always defer to my mom because I watched her conquer so many situations with kids, driving across country with kids, flying to other countries with kids, plane trips, car rides, boat rides, whatever it was, horseback rides. With kids, she can do it. She's just amazing. So I'm always deferring to my mom when it comes to kids, you guys, because I know better than to say something that I really have not experienced myself. And that's the kind of reservation I think you should have with somebody when it comes to judging them by their fruits. Well, I mean, Let's see what you produced. Let's see what you've done. That's why I'm an authority figure in this space that I'm in, because I have stood the test of time. I've gone through so much crap and I have conquered it. And you can have confidence in what I'm saying to you because I've been through it myself. You will know them by their fruits. What are people saying? How do they act behind closed doors? How are they treating people? How are they treating the wait staff? How are they treating the janitor? How are they acting when nobody is looking? That's the kind of true person that you are. And when it comes to spreading the love of Christ, boy, talk about that's the fruit. And we always say about Code Red and about everything, preach at all times, and if necessary, use words. Let your testimony speak. Let your testimony be what makes people stop and say, "What are you doing? You have such a spring in your step. You have such a jolly attitude, jolly attitude. You're just so outgoing and bubbly, and you just have a smile." Well, yeah, this is what I'm doing. They notice your actions. They notice your fruit. You are the fruit of what Code Red produces. You are the fruit. The Code Red is the vine. Code Red is the tree. Code Red is the bush. You are the one that we are producing. And I want to read one more time. I love that Matthew 7 verse 15 through 20. I like verse 19. Every tree that does not produce good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. So the other part of this is, what part of your life is not producing good fruit? And what do you need to cut out of your life? I have a tree in my condo here above the Grove Hotel, downtown Boise, and I've had that tree for 14 years. When I got it, it was one little branch sticking up. It had maybe just one little it had the what's the thing called? The trunk, and then one little branch. Now the thing is huge. Huge. And what happens is, there's sometimes I've got to prune it. There are sometimes branches that are growing wonky. They are cutting off the light supply to other branches. They are pressing on other branches. They are growing funny, growing sideways. They're deformed. Their coloring is wrong, which means they're not getting their nutrients. They're not getting the water, and they have to be pruned. I cut them off. Let me tell you, it is so hard to prune that tree because I love that tree so much. I'm not good with plants, never have been. I don't grow things in gardens, don't know anything about gardening. I don't love it. I don't want to be out there on my knees. I don't want to be out there pulling weeds. This is not fun for me. It's not something I'm interested in. And I've never been able to grow anything, but gosh darn it, that tree is so alive and beautiful because I've done such a good job with that tree all these years, keeping it alive, move after move, house after house. I love that tree. When the movers come to move my tree, I always say, like, this tree is my pride and joy. Be careful with it. And it takes two grown men picking it up and putting it on a dolly and moving it around. I'm just super protective of my tree. So I hate to have to prune it, even though I know when I do, it's going to come back stronger. It's going to come back fuller. It's going to allow those other branches to get the oxygen and nutrients that it needs. It always hurts me to prune the tree. But when I see a misshapen branch, a discolored branch, a branch that's cutting off the supply of another branch and choking another branch, Darwin's theory comes true. Survival of the fittest. And I have to cut that branch off because the other one needs to be, it has to survive. It's choking the other branch. So one of them's got to go. And it always comes back stronger, bigger, brighter, with wider leaves, with a brighter green, stronger, fatter. It's so much better because the nutrients, now I can get the nutrients it needs. And at first, when I prune my tree, it looks sparse. It's like, it's all kind of like, and I always like, oh, it looks terrible. It's not going to grow in. I cut out, there's a big brown branch, and I cut it off, and now there's a big hole. Well, I always complain. I get scared. Now I know. Now I know it's going to happen after all these years of doing it. And it grows a branch right where it needs to be. And the branch is so much better than it was before. Who and what do you need to prune from your life? It's got to go. Bad relationships, pornography, text messages from people that are not serving you any good. I'm not gonna say divorce, but you might need to. Oh, I don't know, maybe. What do you need to get rid of in your life that is not producing good fruit? What is cutting off your oxygen supply, cutting off your nutrient supply in your life? Something you need to say no to that's going to allow you the time to do what you love. I can't get to church on Sunday mornings because I work. Maybe you need to, I can give you a couple of scenarios. Maybe you go talk to your boss and you say, I got to have Sunday mornings off, or I got to be able to come in at 11 so I can go to the 8 o'clock service. And if your boss absolutely refuses to work with you on church, then maybe you need to prune that branch and get a different job. Maybe you are, there's a ton of scenarios like this where you need to prune certain areas of your life to allow the other areas to thrive and grow and produce good fruit. This is so tough for people. And I don't think you realize that something's toxic until you cut it out of your life, and then you feel so much better. It's hard to cut things from your life. It is. It is. I know. I was in a toxic relationship in the summer and fall of 2023. I cut that relationship off on November 27th. It hurt at first. It hurt for a while afterwards. And then I knew it was the right thing to do because I saw the red flags, but I ignored them. I cut that toxic relationship out of my life, and I've never been better. Best thing I could have done. So it hurts at the time. It might hurt afterwards. You know it's the right thing to do. Because if that area is not producing good fruit, it's got to go. It's got to be, as verse 15 says, verse 19, Matthew 7, verse 19, every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. They will know them by their fruit. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. I love you guys. I do. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. If you are looking for some hardcore accountability to get and keep this weight off, look no further because I've got VIP Connection. This is the ultimate connection to me, just short of me sleeping on your couch. You're going to get 3 daily messages from me in real time directly to you. You're going to submit your weight every Friday. We're going to go over it in a weekly meeting on Sunday nights, and I'm going to give you feedback. You'll have access to a monthly VIP breakfast with me in Boise, a monthly VIP supplement box, access to any workshop, any PDF promo that I hold for that month. You'll have access to the Ringside membership. And best of all, you'll have a fully customized nutrition program written just for you. We're talking about over $3,000 total value for $397 a month, and you can cancel anytime. Go to coderedlifestyle.com/VIP to check that out.